Chapter 10. Ask you of the Lord rain in the time of the latter rain, even of the Lord that maketh lightnings, and he will give them showers of rain, and every one grass in the field. For the teraphim have spoken vanity, and the diviners have seen a lie, and the dreams speak falsely, they comfort in vain. Therefore they go their way like sheep, they are afflicted because there is no shepherd. Mine anger is kindled against the shepherds, and I will punish the he-goats. For the Lord of hosts hath remembered his flock of the house of Judah, and maketh them as his majestic horse in the battle. Out of them shall come forth the cornerstone, out of them the stake, out of them the battle bow, out of them every master together. And they shall be as mighty men treading down in the mire of the streets in the battle. And they shall fight, because the Lord is with them, and the riders on horses shall be confounded. And I will strengthen the house of Judah, and I will save the house of Joseph. And I will bring them back, for I have compassion upon them, and they shall be as though I had not cast them off. For I am the Lord their God, and I will hear them. And they of Ephraim shall be like a mighty man, and their hearts shall rejoice as through wine. Yes, their children shall see it, and rejoice. Their hearts shall be glad in the Lord, and I will hiss for them, and gather them, for I have redeemed them, and they shall increase as they have increased. And I will sow them among the peoples, and they shall remember me in far countries, and they shall live with their children, and shall return. And I will bring them back also out of the land of Egypt, and gather them out of Assyria, and I will bring them into the land of Gilead and Lebanon, and place shall not suffice them. And over the sea affliction shall pass, and the wave shall be smitten in the sea, and all the depths of the Nile shall dry up, and the pride of Assyria shall be brought down, and the scepter of Egypt shall depart away. And I will strengthen them in the Lord, and they shall walk up and down in his name, saith the Lord. Let's go back up to verse 1. We'll remember yesterday this word, or this was the load. This was something that was going to have to be carried, something that was going to have to be taken along from the Lord, and that's what that comes from in that dwelling, that inner place where the sackcloth weavers working silently. We're going to find out. It was all about all the idolatry and these things that was going on in that period of time, and the merchandising. It was always the same thing. These things they made themselves known unto the people, and these people were returning. There was a captivity at the time, and there was those that was returning from the captivity, because there's going to be a harvest, and that was the promise in the last chapter, was a harvest. And we'll find out then when we ended, it was with the harvest, this corn and this wine, that comes from the new harvest. We'll find out. That's that which grows from the Word of God. It's that which grows from the Word of God, these seeds of goodness and peace. We'll find out that God give even in the beginning. He put them in your hearts, everyone who can hear the Word of God, and that's to hear it audibly when it's spoken, to know the Word of God has these seeds within them, because we'll find out you were made from the earth, and just like the earth, you are something that can be tilled. There's something that can be sown in, but the seeds of understanding are that which should be sown, and not these seeds that bring forth the weeds, or the contention, or the strife, the degradations we have in life. We're going to pick it up here in verse 1. Ask you of the Lord rain in the time of the latter rain, even of the Lord that maketh lightnings, and he will give them showers of rain, to every one grass in the field. Now I ask you of the Lord, this rain in the time of the latter rain, and this rain in the time of the latter rain is this water that comes from the sky, this water that falls from above us. This water always represents understanding. Water is that which was pure in the beginning, and it was pure. God made the rain and the mist and the dew and all these things that come from water. Water is always going to be understanding, and we're talking about that rain that's in the time. That's a period. That's a period, even a new beginning later that God makes of this latter rain. And there was the former rains and the latter rains, and these are these understandings that come from God. Now, this is going to be this period of the latter rains and these latter portions of understanding. It's written and documented. These, when the knowledge shall be increased. 2. For the teraphim have spoken vanity, and the diviners have seen a lie, and the dreams speak falsely. They comfort in vain. Therefore they go their way like sheep. They are afflicted because there is no shepherd. For the teraphim, and these teraphim, a teraphim is just an idol. It's idols. It's anything that has to do with idols. It's idolatry. It's the paraphernalia that goes with idolatry. Anything you associated with it. We'll see all this things that they use to practice whatever they practice, all this lack of understanding. And what it is, it's an understanding that's going away from God. They are diviners. They see lies. What they do is they compose these lies in their understandings. And these dreams that they have, or these hopes they have, these things they envision, they are speaking falsely. We see it in the earth because there's just constant strife and degradation, and there's no understanding in the earth. They comfort in vain, and that means they comfort in vain. It's emptiness. It does no good. The wound still remains, we'll find. Therefore they go their way like sheep. And that's where the people's at today. They're like sheep that's been scattered. They are afflicted. They are oppressed in society. They are oppressed in their understandings because there is no shepherd. There is no one that watches over the flock. 3. Mine anger is kindled against the shepherds, and I will punish the he-goats. For the Lord of hosts hath remembered his flock, the house of Judah, and maketh them as a majestic horse in the battle. And mine anger is kindled against these shepherds, these ones who call themselves shepherds. They watch over the flock, and all they do is for their own gain. It's for their own gain, for their own understanding, to bring themselves some kind of great name to themselves. And all they do is they just lead the people astray. These shepherds are men who feed God's children. These are God's children, and they should be getting understanding of the law and the ordinances and the statutes of God, that which he gave in the beginning so that they could live. But this goes untaught, see. That's why I will punish the he-goats. And these he-goats are those that exalt themselves over the lesser, the cattle, these ones, or the lesser, these ones who can be led. The sheep and the goats, they can be led around easily, but these ones that exalt themselves, these ones with the horns on their head, these things that grow out of their head, their understandings, these things of strength. For the Lord has remembered his flock, the house of Judah, and that's those of praisings. And he makes them as a majestic horse in the battle. And his majestic horse in the battle, this great strength, we'll find out that God rides upon. For out of them shall come forth the cornerstone, out of them the stake, out of them the battle bow, and out of them every master together. And out of them shall come forth the cornerstone. Once God has spoken it, it's done. And that's this cornerstone, that's that which establishes. The cornerstone is when we set the cornerstone, we have established. From here, the dimensions go this way, and from here, the dimensions go that way. It's measured out, it's determined by that stone that's set. And out of them, a stake is something that fastens, like a nail. King James Version says nail here. This is something that affixes something to another. But we'll find out here the stake, though. A stake is something just slightly a little different. Because this stake is which there the ropes of the tent of the tabernacle are fastened. And that makes a major difference, see. It's not just a nail. It's the tent stake. And out of them the battle bow. And this battle bow is that which is bent with great strength, just like God said. I take Judah up and bend it, it's my bow. Ephraim, the arrows thereof, and that's the judgments we can see, these that are double-fruited. 5. And they shall be as mighty men, treading down the mire in the streets, treading down in the mire of the streets in the battle, and they shall fight, because the Lord is with them, and the riders on horses shall be confounded. And they shall be like mighty men, and every one a master together. And these are the teachers. These are the ones with understanding. They shall be as mighty men. We'll find out. Treading down in the mire of the streets in the battle. And this battle is the great battle. This great battle of understanding that comes in the end time. God will defeat all. We know this to be a fact. And they shall fight. We'll find out. Because the Lord is with them. And the riders on the horses shall be confounded. And these riders on the horses, that's those on the other side. See, that's the enemy. These that set upon these things, these strengths that God has created, though they think they can take charge. And right, we'll find out. See, God made the horse, God made the rider. 6. And I will strengthen the house of Judah, and I will save the house of Joseph, and I will bring them back. For I have compassion upon them, and they shall be as though I had not cast them off. For I am the Lord their God, and I will hear them. And I will strengthen the house of Judah, make them strong, bring them up, make them mighty, make them grow. See, because God can do that. He prospers who he pleases, and I will save the house of Joseph. This house of Joseph. Joseph is that which is added, and God added. God added it even in the beginning. If we go back to the story of Joseph, what did God add? He added 2 tribes, Ephraim and Manasseh. And that's those that are double-fruited and those that cause to forget. See, God says, I will bring them back, for I have compassion on them. And that's that small portion of the flock which he added then. And they shall be as though I had not cast them off. 7. And they of Ephraim shall be like a mighty man, and their heart shall rejoice as through wine. Yes, their children shall see it, and rejoice. Their heart shall be glad in the Lord. And they of Ephraim, like I said, there's this double fruit. It's part of the house of Joseph. They shall be like a mighty man. Like this mighty man, the one who has abilities, one who has great strength, and their heart, their understandings that are within, shall rejoice as through wine, just like one who has drinking wine, but not, see, with great joy, with great rejoicing. This is maybe not giving so much an under care about all those that are around you, because the pleasures of your heart is taken hold. Yes, their children shall see it and rejoice. Their hearts shall be glad in the Lord. 8. And I will hiss for them, and gather them, for I have redeemed them, and they shall increase as they have increased. And I will hiss for them, hiss. That's to like, psst, like that. Actually, what this is to whistle, make a pipe of noise towards them, to call them, and gather them, for I have redeemed them. And redeemed is God forgives. See, God has the ability to forgive. The judgment's not given to man. The judgment's not given to the peoples. The judgment remains God's dominion. And they shall increase as they have increased. And because why? God increased them. 9. And I will sow them among the peoples, and they shall remember me in far countries, and they shall live with their children and shall return. And I will sow them. And I will sow them among the peoples. This sounds like God spreading them forth again to me. Spreading them forth like seeds of truth in the earth. And they shall remember me in far countries, where God has scattered them. See, just like it is today. God scattered out all the children into all the nations for one reason. That way God can call you in the end, and all the earth can witness your coming forth. And they shall live with their children, and shall return. 10. And I will bring them back also out of the land of Egypt, and gather them out of Assyria, and I will bring them into the land of Gilead and Lebanon, and place shall not suffice them. And I will bring them back. They will return. Where? From out of that land of Egypt. The Egypt That's where you were before. That's where you was brought forth, that captivity before. That's that land of pits, land of snares, land of crypts, land of graves, land of holes. It's what it was then, and it's what it always will be. See, God using it as an example then. See, what we found then were all these understandings of men and all these rules of men and all these ordinances of men that they like to think is going to bring some kind of great salvation and understanding to the earth. We'll find out that's just not going to happen. Your ways have been tried and tested, and you've been found lacking, weighed out, into balance, found wanting. And God will gather them out of Assyria. Assyria is that place of the Asher. See, that's that place of the step up. It's a step forward at the same time. It's kind of like progress. Somebody trying to climb a staircase they made. Well, you ain't going nowhere. I will bring them into the land of Gilead and Lebanon. I'll bring them back into the land of Gilead and Lebanon. Lebanon's that place that was made white. It was purified, sanctified, cleaned up. See, that land of Gilead. Gilead, that's where the stones witness. These heaps of stones, they witness something, and we know what's under them. Place, there shall not suffice them. That place shall not, there ain't going to be enough room. It's just not enough. 11. And over the sea affliction shall pass, and the waves shall be smitten in the sea, and all the depths of the Nile shall dry up, and the pride of Assyria shall be brought down, and the scepter of Egypt shall depart away. And over the sea affliction shall pass, affliction. All the contention and all the trouble, all the ignorance that's been caused in the earth by the lack of understanding shall pass. It's going to go away. And the waves shall be smitten into the sea. The sea is all the understanding. That's the waters. That's the great waters. That represents all the understanding, see. And these waves, that's what exalts itself up out of the sea. Lifts itself up. Because we'll find out, God does make the seas to roar. And all the depths of the Nile shall dry up. And these depths, that's the great waters even of the Nile. A Nile is a river. Nile is a little more than a river, see. King James says river, I believe. The Nile, what we find is a canal. It's something that was hand-dug by men. It's not a river. It's a man-made thing to let the water flow where they want it to flow. See, and that's really what the Nile represents. The man trying to move the waters, create his own river, create his own path of understanding. It's going to dry up. And this pride of Assyria, oh, that great exalted pride of progress, we'll just call it progress. Well, that understanding that you have that takes you up, moves you forward, we think it does, it shall be brought down. And this scepter of Egypt, it's going to depart away. And that scepter, oh, that's that staff there, that's some kind of rule they have there in Egypt. That's that place of pits, holes, snares. If you're there, get away. And I will strengthen them, I will strengthen them in the Lord, and they shall walk up and down in his name, saith the Lord. And I'll strengthen them in the Lord, and they will walk up and down in his name, and his understandings even, because, see, that we're going to find out, God is the true understanding. God is the light. God is the way. And his ordinances, his statutes, his law that he gave us in the beginning, he wrote it upon our heart. See, and we all know what God's law is and God's understanding. There's a natural ordinance, see, that God set in motion because he's God. And in the end, he controls all these things. Let's go to chapter 11. Turn and return.